Hey YouTube, welcome back to a brand new Animal Crossing New Horizons video. Today we're discussing what's next for New Horizons, what we can expect during 2023, and basically the future of Animal Crossing as a whole. Now believe it or not, Animal Crossing New Horizons launched almost 3 years ago now, which is just crazy. So as we are entering a new year and approaching the 3rd anniversary, more and more players begin to wonder, what's next? Now, we've not had a significant update to New Horizons in almost a year. In fact, we only saw 2 updates last year throughout 2022, one of which was a security patch and not even related to New Horizons really. So, is it really the end for New Horizons in terms of updates? Well, Animal Crossing New Horizons sees thousands of new players every week, it remains in the charts and has earned the accolade of the second best selling Nintendo Switch game of all time, and the best-selling Switch game in Japan, so really, who knows what Nintendo are thinking? With Animal Crossing New Horizons having seen Happy Home Paradise DLC release relatively close to launch compared to other games, and then less and less updates since then, it's likely Nintendo have nothing more planned for the game. However, when we consider the ever-growing community of new players and the huge replayability factor of the game, who knows? Maybe Nintendo will change their minds and surprise us with some new content in the future. Personally, I'm still confident we could see Zelda Villagers come later this year to coincide with the launch of Tears of the Kingdom, mostly because it has been confirmed recently Zelda Amiibo are being reprinted, but also it just makes sense to use their biggest Switch seller to promote their newest game. Plus, Nintendo loves to cross over Zelda with Animal Crossing. Of course, this is just speculation, but I think we can all agree this is something we'd love to see. Plus, Nintendo are forever changing plans, delaying games, releasing surprise updates, so there's still hope. Of course, if this is the end of New Horizons again in terms of future updates and new content, there are many other avenues Nintendo could go to keep the Animal Crossing franchise fresh in people's minds and of course offer something new to the Animal Crossing community. The two most obvious are releasing ports of old Animal Crossing games or releasing a spin-off. Now again, this is just speculation from the community, but should Nintendo decide to leave New Horizons as it is and release a port, there's a good chance we could see either a remaster of the original Animal Crossing or even a port of Animal Crossing Wild World. The original Animal Crossing debuted on N64 and Nintendo Switch Online already offers several N64 games, so it's possible. However, a port of Animal Crossing Wild World probably carries a little more credibility given in just 2 months time the 3DS and the Wii U eShops are unfortunately closing down. We discussed this in a video about 6 months ago now, highlighting all of the Animal Crossing content that will be lost, but with a move so bold from Nintendo, it makes sense that they plan to republish some of the content that will be lost to the Nintendo Switch. And what better place to start than an installment from their best-selling Nintendo Switch game? Bringing Animal Crossing Wild World that originally released on Nintendo DS isn't that far-fetched, and until March this year, so in 2 months time, Wild World continues to be available on the Wii U eShop. After that, it disappears into the void. Sad times. So bringing it to Switch to keep the Animal Crossing series alive makes sense. Of course, the most common reaction when you mention DS ports is how Nintendo will tackle the dual screen. Well, Wild World was of course ported to the Wii U, and the Wii U utilizes a single screen, just like the Switch. So again, not as far-fetched as you may think, and if I'm honest, is entirely feasible. Now, Nintendo Switch has already seen Nintendo DS ports and remakes come to the platform in the past, and we know DS games are available even right now on the Nintendo Wii U eShop, but should Nintendo decide a port for Animal Crossing isn't the way to go, they could drop a new spin-off instead. The most recent spin-off for the Animal Crossing franchise is of course Animal Crossing Pocket Camp. This smart device game is wildly successful and, believe it or not, already over 5 years old and still going strong with millions of worldwide players and downloads, keeping it in the top charts even now. However, although Pocket Camp is a great addition to the Animal Crossing franchise and fills that gap in the mobile market, there is certainly room for another spin-off and one that uses more modern Animal Crossing New Horizons assets on the Switch platform. Over the years, Animal Crossing has seen releases of mainline titles, followed up with spin-offs to keep the franchise relevant until the next mainline game. Between New Horizons and its predecessor, we saw 3, so it's not unrealistic to think Nintendo will likely continue that trend, and given it's been 3 years since New Horizons launched, it's about the right time. But what kind of spin-off could we see? Well, that's probably for another video, but if community feedback is anything to go by, it could be based around some kind of multiplayer or minigame spin-off that sees players playing online together outside of their island environment. Think WarioWare or even Mario Party, but Animal Crossing. Sounds familiar, doesn't it? Jokes aside, it's entirely possible. The reason Tortimer Island and other mini-games were never included with Animal Crossing New Horizons, like they were back in the New Leaf days for example, is because Nintendo are planning on a separate release. Of course, I don't have to remind you, I'm just floating ideas here, but it would make sense. From a business standpoint, they will need to capitalize on the success of New Horizons, and although Nintendo are set to have an incredible year on the Switch, we are seeing eShops shutting down, so it makes sense to try and start filling that void. But what do you think? Would you rather see a port come to Nintendo Switch or a new spin-off? What do you think is next for Animal Crossing? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. As always, thank you so much to the patrons and channel members for supporting this content, and if you'd like to see how well you know smug villagers, check out 38 smug facts in this next video. Peace.